What up, Viking fans? And thank you for tuning in to the Skol State of Mind podcast. As you already know, I'm your host, D Woods. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's much appreciated. So let's dive into the topic of today's show. This is the game preview of the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Early in the season, I had this game circled because I really thought this game was going to be Caleb Williams versus JJ McCarthy. You know, basically two rookie quarterbacks going head to head. Now, we ain't going to get that matchup because JJ McCarthy, season-ending surgery, and Sam Darnold is our quarterback right now. Now, I'm not saying that on no down note because y'all already know Sam Darnold's my guy, and I'm going to ride or die with him. I'm going to roll with it. But, you know, it is what it is. But maybe we can spin another storyline and basically say we got two USC quarterbacks going head to head. You know, it is what it is. But going into this game, let's talk about the records first. The Chicago Bears got a record of 4-6. The Minnesota Vikings got a record of 8-2. Now, the Vikings, 8-2, is respectively number 2 in the division, right underneath the Detroit Lions. Now, we already talked about them earlier this week. Now, if you've been following me on social media and watching my videos, I've been preaching this over and over again, saying that the Minnesota Vikings cannot afford to slip on none of these games, that they got to stay pace with the Detroit Lions. So at the end of the season, that week 18 game can mean something. You get what I'm saying? Now, I ain't going to sit on my channel and throw shade and throw disrespect for the Chicago Bears and say that they, you know, or underdeveloped team or they suck and like that, because they don't show flashes that they can, and they got some talent on their roster, and they are a division opponent. And that's the one thing about division opponents is like you can't look past them because you're gonna see them twice. So let's talk about it real quick. Now, key players to watch, right? So you already know the key players to watch on the offensive side of the ball for the Vikings, right? You know, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, you know, TJ Hawkinson. And we got to circle back with TJ Hawkinson because he had a subpar game last game. And I really feel like he needs to have a TJ Hawkinson type breakout game because he ain't had no touchdowns yet. You know, and Aaron Jones. And I've been stressing how I feel about this running game too. You know, that's the players to watch on offense, right? But Chicago Bears got some players on their offensive side of the ball too. DJ Moore is a guy I think can give the Vikings problems in the secondary because, you know, if they can kind of scheme and basically get him one-on-one with, you know, with one of our corners, I think they can probably exploit that matchup. That can be something that I might be worried about. You know, Keenan Allen, damn. I remember the last time we played Keenan Allen when he was a Chargers, I think he put up 200 on us. I mean, I know that Justin Herbert is not his quarterback right now, but that's still something that I'm worried about. And if y'all out there thinking like, well, you know, that wasn't against Florida's defense, that was against Florida's defense that he put 200 on us. So that's just something that we got to remember, something we got to think about for real, for real. So, but let's just get back to TJ Hawkinson. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I think the game plan last week was a little bit different. And, you know, we didn't see TJ Hawkinson like get utilized a lot. I mean, the third downs was there. And I think like Sam was just playing good. He was in his bag. And I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying like with TJ Hawkinson, like I want to see like maybe 8 receptions, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. I know he came close to that already, but I just want to get him. I need to see him in the end zone at least once. You get what I'm saying? And I think maybe he can do this against this Chicago Bears team. So let's talk about the offensive and defensive schemes for both of these teams, right? So I'm gonna start off with the Bears. Now, the Bears defense is solid in my opinion. Like they not bad. I mean, Eberflus is a defensive minded coach, and I just feel like his defense is solid. Like they not no slouch, right? So they might give the Minnesota Vikings some fits, but Kevin O'Connell on the other side, he can come out there and scheme, to figure out to get Justin Jefferson open, get Addison, on some slants or whatever. So that's going to be the matchup going back and forth. But the thing that I am worried about the most, and I'm going back to it, I've seen Caleb Williams at USC do some crazy shit, right? I think Caleb Williams, if he can play up to snuff, and if he can play comfortable, he can be a problem. I'm just gonna just say that. Like he wasn't drafted number 1 overall, just for nothing. Like he has talent. But I just think like the thing with Caleb Williams is he gets in his own head and he tries to do too much. When he's basically relaxed and he can read the defense and is comfortable, he can be a problem. So I just feel like it's up to Brian Flores, and I know Brian Flores can do this. It's up to Brian Flores to really make Caleb Williams uncomfortable the whole game. And if he can do that, it's going to be good for the Minnesota Vikings. For real. Because Caleb Williams is talented. Like, he really is. So, yeah. I mean, we can talk about the running game too. I think I told you guys before, like, with the running game, I'm really concerned because I'm starting to see Aaron Jones go out too much, right? And he's going out on certain plays, and I'm thinking like the running game is we're starting to see the running game suffer a little bit now that, the couple of weeks gone, now that Darisaw is going basically, right? We're starting to basically see that. I'm not throwing no shade, on Cam or nothing like that, but we're starting to see like why Darisaw is that guy. But let's just give it a couple of more weeks to kind of like make that statement. But I just want to see more balance with the running backs. And what I mean by that is that I want to see like the balance spread out a whole lot more. I want makes basically like Aaron Jones to maybe get like 15 carries or whatever, Cam Akers maybe like 10 or whatever. Just spread it out a little bit because I want both running backs to be healthy going into the playoffs, especially Aaron Jones, because I just feel like he's starting to get banged up and we're going to need him to be close to 100% for the playoffs if we think we can make any kind of noise. That's just my opinion too. And to talk about the offense a little bit more, we're experimenting right now, and I'm saying experimenting. We're having this offensive line issues where, Dalton Reisner started his first game at right guard, and it didn't do so well. A lot of people out there were calling for, Ed Ingram's job because the PFF numbers and everything like that. And I'll be honest with y'all. I am doing my own due diligence. I am basically looking at more film. I am like looking at more things so I can understand like how to look at the offensive line so I can give my full opinion on who is better and how I really feel about it. So I won't just be saying crazy shit. So I am going to put a pin on this and I'm going to come back to this maybe in 2 to 3 weeks and basically let you guys know how I feel about which one is better, either Dawson Reisner or Ed Ingram. Because I can't just give it to you right now. It's only been one game, but it's a fucking experiment. So that's what I gotta say about this, about the strategies, right? So let's just keep it moving. Let's just keep it. We already talked about that. And one thing though, too, this is the one thing though, too, it's like outside of the coaches or whatever, like I always think about this in my head though. Like, y'all remember when the Minnesota Vikings were looking for a GM, right? Like they wanted Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles was like one of the first on the list. And his whole thing's like he wanted to gut the whole thing out, whatever. And Minnesota brass didn't want to do that. So he was able to do that. He went to Chicago and they got crazy. And it's crazy to see how things have, stacked up right now. Like, I'm not denying or saying like the Bears did it wrong or the Vikings did it right, but it's just crazy. Like they had two different philosophies and now they're both, at a fork in the road right now. Like the Bears did get the number one pick, but that wasn't their pick. I think that was the Carolina pick or whatever, but they were able to trade whatever and get it. So it's just crazy. Like that's another storyline like we should be talking about too. But one of the things that I've been stressing a lot, and this is something about Caleb Williams too, it's like they've been struggling a lot, and it's a great possibility that, Caleb Williams might get, not Caleb Williams, sorry. They've been struggling a lot. It's a great possibility that Eberflus might get let go at the end of the season or maybe during the season. And I feel like that's unfortunate for Caleb Williams. And I know you guys ask, and it's like, damn, you a Viking fan. Like, why would you care about that? I care about that because I feel like this. Ryan Poles, you made a mistake. If you guys gutted Eberflus's whole staff and you kept him and you drafted Caleb and then you gave him an offensive coordinator this year and then you fire him his first year, you're going to bring in a whole new different regime. And now Caleb has to basically learn a whole new offense again his second year. And he's going to have time with that. And I'm not saying Caleb can't learn it and he can't do it, but it's going to be a learning curve and you have to give him time. And I feel like in the NFL, there's always a win-win-win mentality. And it's like you don't necessarily get the time to try to figure these things out. And I feel like Ryan Poles, if you really wanted to put Caleb in the best position to succeed, you shouldn't have just gutted the whole staff and went straight offensively and brought in somebody that you could have just gave Caleb to help mold him from day one. Like you should have never kept Eberflus. Like that was a mistake. And I just don't like it. I always bring up the situation with Jason Campbell, because it's like he had basically 4 offensive coordinators his first 4 years in Washington. And people are like, oh, he never panned out. He was a bust. And it's like, well, he was learning a different offense every year. Like that's just my rant with that. Like I know that has this it's some Chicago stuff, but I just didn't like that. But let's get back to it. So my prediction on this game, man, it's in Chicago, so it's outside. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like, but I'm going to think about it like this, though. If the Vikings offense is rolling, let's say 27-10. 27-10 Minnesota. All right, 27-10 Vikings. There you go, 27-10. That's what I'm thinking we're going to finish with, 27-10. For real, 27-10. And my X factor on offense, TJ Hawkinson. That's my X factor on offense, TJ Hawkinson. X factor on offense for Chicago, Roma Doomsday. Roma Doomsday, my reasoning for Roma Doomsday being the X factor for the Chicago Bears. He's younger. And if their offensive coordinator can figure something out and give him some one-on-ones against our corners, he might be able to do some damage. DJ Moore can also do that too. But I'm going to put the rookie out there. I'm going to give it to Roma Doomsday. So, y'all, that's my preview. I appreciate y'all. Just like I said before, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel or liked the video, hit the notification bell. I really appreciate it. I've been really trying hard to give you guys more consistent videos, more frequently, because I know my channel has been stagnant. So I really appreciate y'all. Just bear with me. I'm really learning this whole thing, but y'all already know how I do it. Skol, baby.